Hi there, me again. Now apparently colours are racist and black MPs can't be pulled over by the police because that's racist. I'll talk about Dawn Butler in a minute because it does have a lot of other ramifications. First, I'm going to talk about bra colour. I mean, what kind of a world are we living in where people get away with searching out racism so hard that they succeeded in finding it where none exists? There is a black woman by the name of Kusi Kimani, you've probably heard of her, who was apparently shocked because Marks and Spencer advertised a bra as being tobacco coloured. Frankly, I don't see the problem. It's a bra, it's coloured in the same colour as tobacco. But she's managed to twist this into being a racist description. The description tobacco described the colour, not the person who would wear it. Her contention was that a brown bra was called tobacco brown, and tobacco is a noxious, horrible substance, but lighter shades of bra were called cinnamon or fudge, which are sweet and nice. Marks and Spencer actually apologised and are going to the expense of changing the name, the packaging, and all the advertising brochures, etc., because of a spurious and frankly incorrect complaint of racism by another social justice warrior flexing their race-baiting muscles. Let me explain. First of all, Ms. Kumani complained that the colour name of the bra for her skin colour carried negative connotations and she wants it to be called cocoa, caramel or chocolate. She's quoted as saying, "I saw it about 2 weeks after George Floyd's death and it was particularly raw to see at that time." Note that she just had to bring in the death of a black criminal who died of heart failure caused by a drug overdose whilst resisting arrest in a foreign country 4,000 miles away. Anyway, to continue. Why not call it cocoa, caramel or chocolate, sweet dessert items? But they used tobacco. I was shocked when I saw it. And she went on to say, "It's hurtful to me and my friends. If a young girl who is already uncomfortable with the colour of her skin sees it, she will be feeling even more alienated." Well, frankly, if a young fat girl who is already uncomfortable with her weight sees it, she will be feeling even more alienated if you call it chocolate and caramel, because chocolate and caramel are fattening. Ms. Kamani goes on to say, to see that tobacco is for their skin tone will make them feel unwanted by society. Tobacco is referred to in society as bad, unhealthy, and highly likely to kill. Well, she must be a bigot. She obviously hates fat people and diabetics because chocolate is fattening and caramel is pure sugar, which causes diabetes, clogs arteries, and kills. She is diabeticist and fattest. Quite frankly, I seriously doubt that the majority of young black girls think as deviously as you do, Ms. Kamani. You're just another race baiter stirring up more division in our society. And talking of race baiters, Dawn Butler, MP. Race baiting, to clarify, is the ability to turn everything into racism. It is pure racism used by people to further a political ideology. This black MP was stopped by the police whilst driving through East London. She claimed that she was pulled over because of her colour. When watching the video that she took, the first thing you notice is the smug, gleeful grin on her face. She knew she was going to have an opportunity to make a racist incident out of a standard procedural vehicle stop. She would be able to stand up in Parliament and claim institutional racism against the Met, which would get her more attention and power. The police from the outset were more than polite, but she was very rude to them. To begin with, the police had put her number through the computer and it came up with being a car from North Yorkshire, which was an error, either due to an input error or a system glitch. So the first question she was asked, bearing that in mind, was, "Where are you going?" A reasonable question, because Yorkshire is a long way to drive during lockdown. Just ask Dominic Cummins. She replied in a supercilious tone that it was none of your business. Well, maybe not, but there's no need to be rude. The question was asked because it was thought the car came from Yorkshire and there is a lockdown. The constable was just doing his job. and he explained why he asked the question. If you're going to have a go at Dominic Cummings, then you should understand why the police want to ensure that you're driving for a proper purpose and not just spreading COVID-19. I personally have always cooperated with the police when I've been stopped, and as a young man driving a strange-looking modified Mini, then I was stopped frequently. And I've never had a problem with the police. It's called courtesy. But Dawn only knows about confrontation and race baiting. At this point, another constable appeared at the other side of the car and explained that the first time they ran the car through the system, it came up with being from North Yorkshire, but he'd run it through again to double check, and it came back registered to Ms. Butler in London, and there were no issues, and you're free to go, basically. And that should have been the end of it, apart from the courtesy of an apology and a well done to the police for doing their job. They were pulled over for a mistake. That was explained. How is it racism? But there is still some mileage in it for a race baiter who could make some political capital from it. She went on about being profiled because of her race. The poor policeman couldn't get a word in. The reason for the stop had been explained, and it had nothing to do with racism, but she still said that she was questioning the reason for the stop. So she obviously hadn't listened to the policeman's explanation. In a subsequent Channel 4 interview, she said that she wasn't given a reason for the stop, which is a lie. Having been given a platform to race bait, she went on to expand her argument into a stop and search, saying it had a poor success rate, but completely ignoring the fact that when it was stopped, knife crime rose steeply. Stop and search is as much about being a deterrent as actually catching people with knives. Just ask the bereaved, mostly black families who have been victims of Khan and Dick's policy of not carrying out stop and search. What race baiters like Ms. Butler are doing is making race relations worse. She even wrote a Guardian piece headlined, "I still don't know why I was stopped. Racial profiling has to end." If you've seen the video, you'll see that she does know the reason for the stop, and it was nothing to do with race. This country was almost there, not quite, but almost, and it was constantly improving. But race baiters like Butler and BLM and all its supporters who are ignorant of history and pushing their own racist agenda have set race relations back 40 years. If we are to swallow the vile accusations of institutional racism which she continually threw into her interviews on Channel 4 and Sky without one iota of evidence, then our police will never be allowed to pull over a car with a black person in it. We all get pulled over, Dawn, even black people. It has nothing to do with race, but you want a world where black people are never stopped and searched. Black people are never pulled over in their cars, never arrested for pulling down statues without due democratic process, and where black criminals are celebrated as martyrs and all whites are bastards because you are the problem. You are the one driving division in our society. You are one of those people that says that people like me, that is to say white people, are racist purely because we're white people, and you don't see the racism in that statement. We were getting there, but you are destroying the progress that has been made since the 60s, and you need to be stopped. See ya.